Let's play a game. No skills required, no luck involved. Just one question. Where are you on the savings ladder right now? Because here's what nobody tells you. Your savings balance doesn't just determine what you can buy. It determines how you sleep, how you respond to a bad day at work, how you feel when your landlord sends a rent increase notice, and whether an unexpected $800 car repair is a minor inconvenience or a full-blown life crisis. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it does buy options, and options feel a whole lot like happiness when you don't have any. This video is a tour, a floor-by-floor walkthrough of the building of financial security, from the cold, drafty basement with a broken boiler all the way up to the penthouse where the heat is always on and nobody's bothering you. Let's ride the elevator. By the end of this video, you're going to see yourself somewhere on this map, and more importantly, you're going to know exactly what changes when you move up one level. Not someday, not theoretically, concretely, practically, in your actual daily life. And if you're new here and you like finance content that doesn't make you want to fall asleep or have an existential crisis, subscribe right now and hit the bell. We do this every week. Real numbers, real talk, zero fluff. Let's go. Number 1. $0 saved. The basement. Welcome to the basement. It's not cozy down here. At zero savings, every single thing that goes wrong in your life becomes a financial emergency. Your tire blows out, and suddenly you're doing math in a Walmart parking lot. Your phone screen cracks, and you're weighing whether to eat out this week or see properly. You're not building a future, you're playing financial whack-a-mole, and the moles are winning. The psychological weight of this is real. Studies show that financial stress consumes cognitive bandwidth the same way running 40 browser tabs consumes your laptop. Everything slows down, overheats, and eventually crashes. You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're often broke because nobody handed you the instruction manual. But here's the door out of the basement. One decision, repeated. Even $20 a week, $20 moved automatically into a separate savings account the day you get paid starts rewiring the system. The basement doesn't have a lock on the door. You just have to push it open. Number 2. $1,000. The starter floor. $1,000. Humble, unimpressive on a dinner party, genuinely life-changing in practice. Here's what $1,000 does that zero cannot. It turns emergencies back into inconveniences. The car repair happens. You handle it. You don't spiral. You don't borrow. You don't put it on a credit card at 24% interest and spend the next 3 months paying for a tire you forgot you had. Think of this $1,000 as a fire extinguisher. You hope you never need it, but the day the kitchen catches fire, you will be extremely glad it's on the wall and not on a Pinterest board labeled financial goals. The mental shift at this level is subtle but profound. You stop being reactive. You start being slightly less afraid of your own calendar. Getting to $1,000 is less about math and more about momentum. It proves to your brain that saving is something you actually do, not just something you intend to do. Number 3. $5,000 to $10,000. The emergency fund floor. Now we're talking. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses sitting in a high-yield savings account, earning 4 to 5% while it waits patiently for something to go wrong. At this level, you can absorb a genuine crisis without restructuring your entire life. You lose your job, you have a runway. Your boiler dies in January, you call a plumber, not a loan shark. A medical bill arrives. You handle it like an adult and not like someone defusing a bomb with 2 seconds on the clock. The emergency fund is, without exaggeration, the single most underrated financial asset in existence. It's not exciting, it doesn't compound dramatically, it doesn't have a ticker symbol, but it is the reason some people stay wealthy when things go wrong, and why others fall back to zero every time life sneezes. If you're here and you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. This community is built for people who want to move through these levels systematically, and we've got a lot more floors to cover. Number 4. $25,000 to $50,000. The breathing room floor. Something genuinely shifts at this level, and it's not what you think. It's not that you feel rich. You don't. $25,000 is not yacht money. It's not even new car without flinching money in most cities. But it is the first level where money starts working, instead of just sitting there waiting to be spent. At $25,000 to $50,000, you have enough to invest meaningfully. You can max out a Roth IRA. You can start building a taxable brokerage account. You can look at an investment property conversation and not immediately laugh. Your emergency fund is fully stocked, your debt is manageable, and you have actual capital to deploy. Here's the analogy. Below this level, you're pushing a shopping cart uphill. At this level, the hill starts to flatten out. You're not coasting yet, but the burning in your legs is finally letting up. The biggest trap at this floor is lifestyle inflation. The moment money appears, the brain immediately generates a shopping list to match it. New car, bigger apartment, nicer everything. That's the upgrade that keeps you on the flat part of the hill permanently. Resist it with extreme prejudice. Number 5. $100,000. The psychological milestone floor. $100,000. The comma that changes people. At $100K in savings and investments, compounding starts to become something you can actually feel. At 8% annual return, your money is now generating roughly $8,000 per year just by existing. That's $667 a month produced by capital you already accumulated. You didn't work for it this month.
It just appeared. It's like hiring a very quiet, completely reliable employee who shows up every single day, never calls in sick, never asks for a raise, and deposits money directly into your account while you sleep. You built that with decisions, over time. That's not luck. That's math applied patiently. At this level, people who started early start lapping people who started late. Time in the market is doing heavy lifting that extra income simply cannot match. The gap between the person who started at 22 and the person who started at 35 becomes visible here, and it is slightly horrifying if you're on the wrong side of it. But it is never, never too late to start the next best time. It's always today. Number 6. $500,000. The options floor. $500,000. This is where the word options stops being abstract. At $500,000 invested, your portfolio is producing roughly $40,000 per year at a conservative 8% average return. That number is approaching, matching, or exceeding what many people earn from work. You haven't retired, but you could start to see the shape of it from here. At this level, bad days at work feel different. Your boss is still your boss, but they're no longer your only option. You could take a lower-paying job you actually enjoy. You could take 6 months off between roles without financial devastation. You could negotiate from a position of strength rather than desperation. Financial independence isn't a number, it's a posture. And $500,000 is often the first point where that posture becomes available to ordinary people who simply played the long game without being distracted. Number 7. $1 million plus. The comfort floor. The number everyone has in their head. The one that's been culturally loaded since the word millionaire was invented. At 1M, using the 4% withdrawal rule, your portfolio supports roughly $40,000 per year indefinitely, meaning if your lifestyle costs $40,000 or less annually, you have, mathematically, reached financial independence. You don't need the job. You work because you want to, not because you have to. Now, $40,000 per year is not a lavish life in most cities. You're not flying private, you're not summering anywhere with a verb. But you are free. And freedom, it turns out, is the thing money was always supposed to buy. Not the cars, not the watches, freedom. And if you want $3 million, same math, same patience, more zeros. At $3 million, the 4% rule gives you $120,000 per year in perpetuity. That's a very comfortable life in almost every city on Earth, and a genuinely extraordinary one in most of them. Here's what I want you to do right now. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down, right now. Figure out which floor you're on. Honestly, without rounding up. And then ask yourself, what is the one decision, just one, that moves you to the next floor? Maybe it's opening a high-yield savings account today. Maybe it's finally automating a $100 monthly transfer. Maybe it's cutting the subscription you forgot you had. One decision, one floor at a time. The elevator doesn't require perfection, it just requires you to keep pressing the button. Like this video if it gave you a clear picture of where you're headed. The algorithm rewards it, and it helps this reach people who need it. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Every week on this channel, we break down the exact decisions, habits, and systems that move people up the ladder. No hype, no shortcuts, no sponsored nonsense. Just the map and the math. Drop a comment and tell me, which floor are you on right now? I read every single one, and your answer might be the thing that makes someone else feel less alone on their floor today. We'll see you in the next one.